Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be my episode 5 review of Loki. I gotta say, this was my favorite episode by far. There was just so many awesome things that happened, and there was some pretty nice hints towards the next MCU big bad, which I'm sure everyone kind of knows who that is, but let's go ahead and start from the beginning of the episode. So we start off in Loki is in the Void, where basically all of the things that get pruned just get thrown to. It's basically how at Sakaar trash gets dumped there, and the Void acts similar to Sakaar, where all of the time trash goes there, and it was just really cool to explore the Void. It was just littered with tons of different things like UFOs, sphinxes, and a lot of the objects that were in the Void had a lot to do with conspiracy theories, which I am a big sucker for conspiracies, so I had a great time looking at all of these different things. There was a lot of Easter eggs in this episode. We saw a helicarrier, we saw Throg, which is Thor turned into a frog. We obviously saw a ton of Loki variants as well, and the big one, the big one in this episode was that you see Avengers Tower and it says Kang on it. Now this is a nod to Kang Enterprises, which of course Kang runs, and in the comic books Avengers Tower was actually sold and bought by Kang Enterprises as well, so I think this is a pretty big hint towards Kang coming into the MCU, which we obviously know he is because he's going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania. But as soon as I saw Kang written on Avengers Tower, I was like, oh my god, we are getting Kang finally. Like the confirmation's right in front of our eyes now, and I just can't wait for this villain to be in the MCU. He's just so cool, and I think he's going to tie into the Fantastic Four because there's iterations of him where he's actually Franklin Richards. I think it would be really cool if the Fantastic Four movie had to deal with their son becoming Kang and them realizing it, and maybe they have to fight him in an Avengers movie, and I think it would be really awesome to see Reed Richards and Sue Storm go against their own son and have the big reveal of who Franklin Richards is. Now I don't know exactly if they're going to go in that direction, but I really hope they do, especially because Marvel knows what they're doing, so it just makes sense to bring Kang in at the same time as the Fantastic Four. But anyways, the rest of the episode was basically Loki interacting with the other Loki variants, and I gotta say Richard E. Grant's classic Loki was by far my favorite variant, although the alligator Loki was pretty awesome as well, and just looking at all of the other Loki variants in that brawl in the little hideout was a good time as well. And Mobius is back, baby. I knew he wasn't dead, especially because we knew Loki didn't die, but it was just nice to see him. Like every time he comes onto the show, I just get joy from watching Owen Wilson. Mobius is just such an awesome character, and I love the friendship between him and Loki and how Mobius is like changing his mind around Sylvie now. He's apologizing to her like, hey, sorry, you know, like I was kind of caught up in this whole TVA thing. So this episode was awesome because of all of the great characters that were in it. Then it ended with a huge cliffhanger where Loki and Sylvie are actually going to find out who's in charge of the whole TVA. So they took down Alioth, which is another nod to Kang as well. Alioth in the comics does have ties to Kang, so it was just really awesome to see all of these Kang Easter eggs. Although I don't think Kang is actually going to show up in this series. I think when Loki and Sylvie leave the Void to go find out who's in charge of the TVA, I think they're going to find He Who Remains, which is essentially the guy who started the TVA. In the comic books, after a universal cycle, He Who Remains actually starts up the TVA again. He's this super old creepy dude, and I definitely think he's hiding on that rock in the middle of the time stream. We've seen what this environment is going to look like. It's essentially a rock right in the middle of the whole time stream, so I definitely think he's the guy who's behind the curtains running the whole TVA. And in episode 6, I think Loki and Sylvie are basically going to interrogate this guy, find out why he's doing what he's doing, and I think he's going to be the big bad. I don't think Kang is going to pop up in this series. From a story standpoint, it makes more sense to bring in He Who Remains and then hint towards Kang in the future, although it would be awesome to see Jonathan Majors just show up all menacing and be like, what have you guys done with my timeline? But I don't think it's going to happen. I definitely think He Who Remains is going to be the big bad of the series, and then we might get like a post-credit scene or something that links towards Kang for future movies, or maybe even lead us into Spider-Man No Way Home. But damn, this episode was so good, like by far my favorite out of the 5 that we've gotten so far. And one more thing that I forgot to mention was how cool was it when Richard E. Grant created an Asgard illusion to help take down Alioth. That was just so cool, and that just gives us a little tease as to how powerful Loki actually is. So I'm really hoping that our Loki variant learns how to be this powerful, because it's just a joy to watch in live action. And what's going on with Loki and Sylvie? Like, I swear there's a whole romantic part of their relationship there, but the showrunner said that nothing is going to happen between them. But at the same time, I'm watching the episode and I'm like, every single moment they're together, they look like they're about to kiss or something. I don't know if that's just because the chemistry is there or like what, but they definitely look like they want to smooch each other. I don't know if this is just me, but I think it would be cool if they, you know, had a baby or something and named the baby Sylvie, and that baby became the Enchantress and joined the Young Avengers. because no offense, Sophia DiMartino's a little bit older. I think she's just under 40 years old, and some people are saying that she's going to be joining the Young Avengers, which I don't think is really going to happen. But if they had a baby, that baby could definitely join the Young Avengers. But all in all, that was a great episode. Like, I would rate that a solid 8.5 out of 10, and it just pains me every time that this series ends with such a crazy cliffhanger. Like, I just want to see the next episode right away, but I guess I'll just have to be patient and wait an entire 7 days to finish out this series. And so far, I'd say it's pretty solid. Like, I know some people are kind of hit or miss on it. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. I'm one of the people that enjoys most of it. Like, obviously it's not perfect, and there's a couple things I don't like and a couple things that don't flow the best, but it is very exciting. There's a bit of mystery, there's a bit of romance, there's some decent action, the cinematography is amazing, and I just can't wait to see how it all wraps up next week in episode 6. So guys, that's pretty much it for my reaction and review of episode 5 of Loki. I had a great time, like I was saying. It's my favorite episode of the series so far, and Kang is here, baby, you know? Like, there's just so many hints towards Kang in this episode. I just would be baffled if it had nothing to do with him. We've got Ravonna Renslayer literally in the show, who is a love interest of Kang from the comics. Honestly, I think Kang might have even wiped her mind, and she's gonna be pissed that her boyfriend was like, oh, you know, the timeline is more important than our relationship. Just imagine if there's like a flashback scene of him just erasing her mind and just forgetting about their love just in order for him to conquer. She is gonna be mad. Okay, I need to stop rambling. That's it for the review, guys. Thank you for watching. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Lots of content coming, and I don't want you guys to miss out. Let me know down below what you guys thought about the episode, and do you think Kang is going to be the big bad, or do you think it's just going to be he who remains? Let me know down below, but I am gonna go to the comic book store right now. It's New Comic Book Day on Wednesday, so I will see you in the next video. Thank you again for watching. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video.